5G service is already rolled out in some places across the country. Now scientists are raising concerns about 5G signals. The House Science Committee says there's evidence that shows that 5G signals will interfere with U.S. weather satellites, specifically the signal that measures humidity in the air. Meteorologists say that specific signal, it is essential when determining what 3 to 10 day forecasts are going to be. Well, we hope you love all the gifts you got over the holidays, but if you do need to make some returns, it is getting cheaper and easier to do that for things that were bought online. You can now drop online returns off at Target and Walmart if you bought them on their site. Also, more stores actually accepting rivals returns as well. Walgreens lets you return online orders at more than 8,000 of its stores across the country that have FedEx on its site. FedEx on site. Now, it has a partnership with tech company Narvar. It accepts returns including Levi Strauss, Urban Outfitters, and other brands. Now, Happy Returns, that's another company that's teamed up with stores to help you return online orders in person.
And when you talk to online shoppers, you'll hear them talk about the pain of the arts and crafts project of preparing a return by mail. Printing a label, finding a box, taping that box up, going and having to stand in line potentially at a carrier. And the reward for that is to then wait and check their credit card statement for the next 2 to 3 weeks to make sure that their refund or exchange has been initiated.
So with Happy Returns, you don't need a box or a label, and you can get an immediate refund. Its return locations are available across the country in Cost Plus World Market, Paper Source stores, as well as some malls. The brands that you can return include Untuckit, as well as Nike Adventure Club. Well, Happy Returns says that Amazon's options to return online orders in person is forcing more companies to add more options to what they offer. Amazon does let you drop off returns at Kohl's locations. Now, you don't need a box or a label for the free return. CBD oils, creams, and similar products are widely popular now. A recent warning says what you think you're getting might not actually be what's inside the jar. Tomorrow on The Now, what the federal government is doing, as it says it's working to keep companies honest.
Hopefully you got the chance to spend some time outside today. If not, look, we've got more mild conditions on the way, but our rain chances will also increase with weekend temperatures. That's all for The Now, Indy. The news continues, though, at 6.
Some major changes are on the way for this Owen County Fire Department. We'll tell you how some firefighters say it will negatively impact your safety.
A gathering happening right now, fueled by a mother's determination, why she hopes a nighttime vigil will shine the light on some new leads. If you're looking to ring in the new year with a new ride, you might want to be downtown sometime between now and New Year's Day. We check out the trends at the Indy Auto Show.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Major changes are on the way for an Indiana fire department, and their changes, some firefighters say, could impact your safety. Good evening at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum was in Owen County today to find out what those changes are and why others say they're necessary for the long-term success of the department.
The Owen Valley Fire Department is quiet and closed up now, because with the exception of the chief, those who make up this department are all volunteers.
You're talking guys that are career firemen. We have a lot of guys that work on career departments part-time. You got college graduates from fire science and public safety.
But Lieutenant Joe Fry says the department will lose a majority of those firefighters at the end of the year because the Owen Valley Volunteer Firefighter Incorporated group could not reach a contract agreement with the Owen Valley Fire Territory Board.
There were some things in the contract that were it was almost an impossible contract to sign.
Lieutenant Fry said they never had a chance to negotiate the terms in that contract. He says the department will now lose about 20 volunteers, and that could have major impacts on your safety.
We run over 300 calls a year, and the majority of those are fires and car accidents. So the safety is definitely going to be a big point here because you're not going to have the manpower as you once did.
Some people who live in the area are worried about what that could mean.
Response time, the inability to maybe save a life, if a life is in jeopardy in a fire, or just the personal properties. All those things are important. I mean, we need to have our volunteers there and available.
Some volunteer firefighters say this will also impact their ability to assist other departments in the county. But an attorney for the board that oversees the department tells me the contract they offered the volunteer organization was fair. He says the changes are the first steps toward eventually becoming a department with paid staff. They recently hired a full-time chief and hope to hire 2 firefighters over the next year. He says it's becoming increasingly difficult to find volunteer firefighters, so this change is necessary. He's confident some of the volunteers will still respond to fires that happen after the first of the year. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
And the volunteer firefighters are holding an emergency meeting tonight to discuss their next steps. We'll let you know what they decide. New at 6 tonight, an arrest just made in a deadly Christmas Eve stabbing. 23-year-old Brent Pitcock is in custody for the murder of 29-year-old Paul Charbrough. Detectives believe an argument over cigarettes led to the stabbing Tuesday on the 1400 block of East Washington Street. Charbrough died at the hospital. Happening now in Lawrence, a prayer vigil for a man shot and killed 1 year ago today. The vigil at the Canterbury Apartments was organized by the mother of Aaron Lamont Grice Jr. Since her son's death, Mary East has visited this complex every month, leaving flowers, releasing balloons, and looking for the closure that she needs. A year later, police still don't have any solid leads in this case. Grice was found dead near a dumpster in the housing complex there. Mary East says she was just 5 minutes away when Aaron called for help, but 5 minutes wasn't enough. When they got to the apartments, they found Aaron had been severely beaten and shot. Back out live again, the group will release balloons in honor of Aaron Grice at 6:30. Grice had 2 children of his own, and his mother is hoping that by continuing to talk about her son's death and the grief, the person responsible will come forward. Lawrence police are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
You know it was warm. Maybe you don't know how warm. We hit 65 today. We've cooled off 7 degrees. Now we're at 58. We did not set a record. We were 2 degrees off of the record set back in the 1800s. Muncie still at 61. The lone spot, at least to what I'm showing you now, that's still in the 60s. 54 in Logansport. As far as going to the weekend, I wanted to jump ahead here for you. We'll talk about the next 24 hours in a second, but let's talk about some changes. As we get to the weekend, one change, not only have we been mild, but we've been dry. The rain chances will increase starting Saturday night, peaking through the day on Sunday. Temperatures come back into the 60s. The storm system will wind up to our west. All of these lines you see on here, isobars, are lines of equal pressure. The more we see and the tighter they are together, the stronger the wind. But it'll be a warm wind on Sunday, but it will draw in moisture as well. Saturday night, rain overspread central Indiana. That's what we'll have around as we get going on the Sunday. As far as our rainfall potential with this, could see a good soaking rain. You combine that with the melted snow, and I think we'll have a lot of standing water around, but certainly could see an inch of rain through Sunday night. We'll be back in detail all the hours that I missed in between coming up.
Checking the RTV6 news feed, not everyone is basking in the unseasonably warm weather. Paoli Peak Ski Resort in southern Indiana, well, ski has temporarily closed its shops and the slopes because of artificial snowpack is melting. Officials say the slopes and tubing park will remain closed from now until cold air returns, and they have the opportunity to make additional snow. The resort is located about 50 miles northwest of Louisville, Kentucky, which recorded a record high of 69 degrees yesterday. The National Park Service will install sand traps along the Lake Michigan shoreline to combat beach erosion at the Indiana Dunes National Park. The federal agency is set to begin working tomorrow with the town of Beverly Shores to fill 300 linear feet of sand traps. Officials are asking the public to steer clear of the area as heavy equipment is used to install and fill the sand traps and fight erosion during the time of high water levels on the lake. It's been a year since 2 people were injured in an explosion at Carmel High School. The men were doing maintenance on a heater in a boiler room when that explosion happened. Investigators believed it was caused by a gas leak. No students were injured, but debris from the blast flew as far as 200 feet. The 2 men have since recovered. A northern Indiana woman has a message for the porch pirate that she says stole her wedding dress. Stacia Giese put up a giant sign on her porch of her home in South Bend in hopes of getting her dress back. The sign tells the thief that there will be no questions asked if the dress is returned. It also leaves a phone number for the person to call. Giese got married in June, and then she gave her mother her dress to have it cleaned after the wedding. Her mother shipped the dress back to her while she was out of town, and Stacia says the package was stolen from her front porch. A backbone of our economy is auto manufacturing. More than 100,000 Hoosiers are connected with vehicle production, whether they work at General Motors, Honda, Subaru, Chrysler, or Toyota. Our Rafael Sanchez reports on the show, hoping to spark future sales.
The Fast and the furious, the sleek, and the shiny, all on display.
We have pickup trucks, we have sports cars, we've got convertibles, we've got, like I say, minivans, a little something for everyone.
Ready to be checked out from bumper to bumper before you decide whether it makes your shopping list.
We have an opportunity for people to come in comparison, shop without someone trying to sell you something. And for a lot of people, that's a welcome relief.
While Indiana weather usually requires a vehicle that can handle snow and ice-covered roads, the last few warm days may spark an interest in searching for something more sporty, which could distract you from taking down all of those outdoor Christmas lights and ornaments.
They can come down here for 2 hours while it's nice and still get those Christmas lights down before 5:30 or 6.
And while these vehicles are too big to fit a stocking over the fireplace, they are nonetheless eye candy for those with an appetite for cars. Working for you in Indianapolis, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
And they do look sharp there. The auto show runs until January 1st at the Indiana Convention Center in downtown Indianapolis. Have you ever considered a job driving a bus? Well, one driver says her initial fear of this job has turned into pure pleasure. Next in Hiring Hoosiers, how you can find out if this would be the right fit for you.
And a couple of showers possible this evening and overnight tonight. I think most of central Indiana won't have any more than a few sprinkles or showers. That's with cooler air arriving. Notice I said cooler. It certainly won't be cold. I'll show you what your Friday will work out to be coming up.
Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Over the past year, Hiring Hoosiers has shown its commitment to help you land a job and better your life. And right now, Indigo already boasts more than 500 employees, and they're looking to add to their roster of drivers as new routes continue to come online. Our Meredith Barrick is checking in with one driver who shares why she loves her job so much and why she thinks others should give this career with Indigo a chance.
Starting a new job can be a bumpy ride.
Very scared. I heard stories about passengers and the things that they do to drivers.
That was 5 years ago.
I love my passengers, every last one of them.
And Misty El-Shabazz says she's managed to steer clear of any trouble while learning the ropes and the routes being an Indigo driver.
I wasn't really familiar with the city. That will probably be the only challenge for me, is this learning the city.
Those fears are now in the rearview mirror, and she's loving life in the driver's seat.
Great benefits. It pays good. It's a great job all over, I have to tell you. Come aboard.
Indigo doesn't just want you to ride their buses, they need you behind the wheel.
This fall, we are increasing service by about 50%, and then we have the purple line coming on after that and the blue line after that. So over the next several years, we're going to be looking for about 150 additional bus drivers.
To become one of those drivers, you need a GED or high school diploma, plus a clean background check and drug screen.
There are also some functional and physical requirements. So obviously driving a bus, making sure that you're healthy and you can move around and help a passenger strap in who's in a wheelchair.
They also want people who have great customer service skills and are excited about interacting with riders.
Well, have a good day. You too. Don't want you to be late for work.
They're the first ones that you see when you get on the bus, or the last ones that you see, and often they're the only people from Indigo that you would ever interact with.
That's right. That's good.
Misty is hopeful her experience encourages those spinning their wheels in the job search process.
Indigo is a great job. I've been here for 5 years. I had some tough times, but I'm here, and I'm working for you. Indigo. Love my job.
Working for you, Meredith Barrick, RTV6.
Indigo does help with qualification for your commercial driver's license, or CDL, and they offer paid training. They also offer a progressive pay scale once training is complete, ranging from $19 an hour to almost $24 an hour once drivers reach their 2-year anniversary. If you're interested in learning more about a career with Indigo, we've put a link on hiringhoosiers.com.
If you're wondering, the big number today, 65. Yesterday, we hit 62, missed the record by 2 degrees. We hit 65 today, missed the record by 2 degrees. No historical credit, but obviously one unique part of this is the duration of the warm temperatures. Terre Haute up to 67 today, 1 degree cooler in Muncie. Temperatures tomorrow will be almost 10 degrees cooler, but still in the mid-50s. Incredible temperatures for early January. Let's talk about a couple of things. Our streak goes on. We've had 2 straight days at 60 or warmer. The streak of 50 or warmer goes back 5 days. And over the next several days, although we're back off a little bit tomorrow in the mid-50s, you see what happens. We step it up as we get to Saturday. Sunday temperature at 62 degrees. That will come with some rain. Let's talk about all-time December records. The warmest temperature ever in the month of December, 72, and it wasn't that long ago, 1982. Our coldest temperature ever in December was 23 below. As you look here, the snowpack is in the northern U.S. and southern Canada, so not many folks had a white Christmas. We've been melting off the evidence quickly over the last several days, day and night. Out in the Rockies, you can see the snow covered there, and they've had some snow north of Los Angeles today. Colder air to the west. Our sliver of warmth from the Great Lakes to the Gulf Coast, that has temperatures soaring and will continue to stay mild for the next 3 days. It's getting squeezed, though, and eventually the cooler air will win out. Tomorrow, lots of clouds, maybe a sprinkle or two in the morning. Temperatures in the afternoon back to about 54 for the high. I think north, anywhere from, say, Lafayette to around Muncie and Peru north will struggle to hit the 50-degree mark. As we go into the weekend, we talked about temperatures coming back up, but also increasing will be our rain chance. Saturday night, 11 o'clock, there's the rain entering western Indiana. It comes into central Indiana, 7 a.m., widespread rain. As far as our rainfall potential, you see there generally 3/4 of an inch to over an inch of rain. That sets the stage and is a signal for cooler temperatures to return. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Temperatures are back closer to average for this time of year. Here's 7-day forecast. As you can see, next 7 days we bounce around a bit, but we're mild through Sunday with rain likely. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a rumble of thunder. Right now, not worried about severe weather. Monday, we're colder, but we're dry. Tuesday, 38. We're in the 20s for lows. That sounds cold. 27. It's 27 above, so we can handle that.
We can handle that. We got that. It's been a great week, though. A lot of people have been out and about enjoying this weather. Brad, I hope you've been enjoying as you're going from game to game.
Absolutely. A good day to be out, and the Pacers will be home soon enough. They earned a day off this week. Monday night's exciting win here over the Raptors added another positive notch on the calendar. ESPN citing some sources say Victor Oladipo will return about a month from now, late January, early February. Strong set of games in the next few weeks will test this group once again. Vic took a final shot and headed off the court just as our media time started today, so we will hear from him another time. As for the rest of the Pacers, it continues to be a balanced offense that is adding up to a winning combo. They've got 7 players averaging at least 9 points per game. They're the only team in the Eastern Conference currently doing that. TJ Warren has had a couple of 20-plus point performances recently, 24 on that Monday night win. He talked today about what's keeping this team dialed in.
Guys for moving the ball, hitting shots, and a lot of credit. Guys that stepped up. Aaron Holiday played tremendous down the stretch. Everybody contributed, and just got to keep it going. It's a lot of positives, a lot of things we can fix. We know it's a long season. Can't get too high, get too low. Just prepare for the next game.
Pacers are in Miami tomorrow night. The Heat are currently the second-place team in the East, but Indiana is only a game and a half behind them, so that's a big one there. And the Pacers play at New Orleans on Saturday. New Year's Eve will be a home game. Note the early 3 p.m. start time, a matinee against the Sixers here on Tuesday. The Pacers actually play those teams, Miami and Philly, each again in a couple weeks. The holiday break doesn't last long for a few high school basketball teams. Lawrence Central and Ben Davis boys are playing tonight, and the annual Wabash Valley Tourney is already underway in Terre Haute. Newcastle's Hall of Fame Classic starts tomorrow with the girls doubleheader. Have some highlights from that LCBD game for you tonight at 11. When we last saw the IU football team, they were carrying the old Oaken bucket back to Bloomington. The Hoosiers will be playing into the month of January, yet another milestone that's been a long time coming for the program. With an 8-win regular season, Indiana expected a warmer than usual bowl assignment. They got that. It's the Gator Bowl a week from tonight when they take on Tennessee. By the looks of ticket sales and the flights available from here to there, plenty of IU fans will be making that trip down to Jacksonville. Practice has continued steadily in the 4 weeks weeks since the win at Purdue. Tom Allen talked about trying to maintain the same pace with the workload while the team balanced semester finals and the holiday break as well. With their final test now firmly in sight, they are set to turn the focus against the Volunteers. Don't expect things to change too much for IU. It will be more of what worked for their 8 wins in the regular season.
I've been encouraged by the guys' energy. To me, that's a big sign of focus and buy-in and how they realize what's in front of them, what the opportunity this creates for them, and it's going. We're going to have to play really good football, to beat Tennessee. So I think our guys are starting to realize that, and that's very important, and understanding, what it's going to take.
It's just like this is what you wish for. You're playing on a prime stage, only game of the night. You're playing the SEC team, one of the best conferences in the college football, and it's not much more you could ask for. Coach Allen really challenged us that a lot of teams don't get to do this, so just take each day that we have. We go 3 days and we get a break each time, so just take each opportunity and get better each day.
Hoosiers leave for Jacksonville on Saturday. They'll have some practices down there at a local high school facility starting on Monday. The game against Tennessee is 1 week from tonight. Time for our final break. Back to finish up this edition of the News at 6 next.
Dodge Jeep Ram.
The only name you need to know.
It is Throwback Thursday, and tonight we look back at a place that will soon be history. Ike and Jonesy's will serve up its last call on New Year's Eve. Our editor, Mike Hartz, put together this report featuring the sights and sounds of Ike and Jonesy's from the past, as well as the legendary bar's owner today, as he prepares to say goodbye.
Our motto is, we are the fun damn place downtown. One of the things that I thought was most important was, yes, try to offer a good menu, yes, offer a great price, but give people something to do after they're done with dinner and after and we put the dance floor in. And we did not play industrial music, we played music from people's past.
It's Thursday, it's Quarter Beer Night, it's Ike and Jonesy's, and it's hopping. Ike's was one of the first bars to test the downtown South Meridian Street waters prior to the opening of Union Station. Downtown is happening.
It's like a wedding reception in here. Everybody dances. There was a brand new Hoosier Dome that hadn't been used yet. So I opened up the same day as the Hoosier Dome opened up for football. I used to have the sports bar across the street, and actually during the last push of construction of the Circle Center Mall, I lost my sports bar.
There's nothing left to do but sweep up the sawdust. After more than 10 years, sports is closed forever. Rick Eichholz and longtime partner Doc Wiesner made their last trip to bankruptcy court today and have turned their backs on the once profitable business. Now they look forward to shoring up another downtown bar, Ike and Jonesy's.
We kept this one because it's our name, and we're glad we did. I would like to have stayed a little bit longer, about another 10 years. But this place is going to be a hotel. I believe it's going to be a Holiday Inn, and that's marvelous. I don't fit into their plans. We made a deal that I'm going to leave. I have enjoyed this immensely for the last 36 years. I had the greatest job in the world. So it's time to find something else.
Well, we thank them for providing that space for so long there.
I like these Throwback Thursday stories.
Yeah, same here.
I just texted Derek Thomas, let him know he was on TV again.
Again?
He just retired. And you also heard Linda Lapierre's voice as well. Temperature 65 today, not a record, but startling nonetheless. 36 is our average high. You can see temperatures after Sunday start to slide back to average as we step into soon January.
All right, it's coming. And we'll be back here with you at 7 o'clock.